What is the smoking gun of the final experiment, now dubbed the fake experiment? So, in light of Donald Trump about to release the JFK documents.
Sir, we have an executive order ordering the declassification of files relating to the assassinations of President John F. Kennedy, Senator Robert F. Kennedy, and the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
That's a big one, huh? A lot of people are waiting for this for years, for decades. And everything will be revealed.
I thought it would be fun to go over the smoking guns of this charade that is a bunch of YouTubers going out and faking the shape of the earth by showing a 24-hour sun. When it comes to conspiracy theories, people have a hard time with conspiracy theorists. They say, wait, you're saying that because his head went a certain way, that the CIA was involved in the assassination of a president, and you know better than the newsman, and you know better than the government, because of the footage you saw, because of your theory, and yeah, that's basically what it is. Conspiracy theorists are about to be vindicated worldwide. So, for over 60 years, the government has claimed that Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone. And they had a document for 60 years that was in a file cabinet. And it had the goods of what they're about to release. And yeah, Oliver Stone did a investigative report on it. And he said it was Woody Harrelson's father. Woody Harrelson's father admitted to it. Woody Harrelson's brother wrote a book called The Son of a Hitman. And yeah, it produced this thing called the smoking gun. Now, I'm a grassy knoll guy. Some people believe it was the motorcade. And whichever theory you follow, it doesn't matter too much. You will be vindicated. You were right. And the naysayer, the person saying, trust government, were wrong. But when you become a conspiracy theorist, they say you're not a sniper. You're not an expert in riflery. You don't know how bullets work. Oh, really? Well, I think I do. It turns out that I am an expert. It turns out I'm at least an expert at watching television. No, I'm about to be vindicated. Guys like Brian Callen, they've never thought the government did anything wrong. And you have to just trust, oh, holy government. And they fake it till they make it. Does that mean Elon Musk faked the car in outer space? Well, it means that I'm vindicated. I'm a conspiracy theorist. I'm willing to question that. Are you? I can look at that video and go, yeah, I don't believe Elon Musk sent that car in outer space. It looks too fake. I can look at the Chinese moon mission and go, ooh, yeah, guys, that looks fake. I can look at the India moon mission and go, oh, wow, that's not a real piece of metal, is it? They say that's a real piece of metal, like a real rocket ship, like a real spacecraft. No, that's a flashing light. And the JFK deniers, they're the ones going, yeah, Elon Musk is legit. Elon Musk is really landing those rocket ships. I don't think so, man. I think he's an actor. And yeah, there is a spiritual game going on. Fake it till you make it. Make it be real. Have a new creation by harnessing the power of the heavens. Have a TV production, and then ta-da, you get your 15 minutes of fame. You get your Valhalla. You get your heaven. And that's the spiritual side to it. But there's kind of another side to it where it's just an egotistical argument that people have taken on, and they just want to be right. They just don't want to lose to their friends at work and their family members that swear that their theory was right. And that's kind of the situation we have with the shape of the earth. People are willing to fake the shape of the earth because they don't want to lose an argument to flat earthers. And they're going to have like over 100, maybe 200 people fake the shape of the earth in this documentary they're doing about the 24-hour sun. So Neil deGrasse Tyson, SK, and William Shatner were out on a boat at the same time. These YouTubers were faking the shape of the earth.
I got invited. A boat planned to go to Antarctica. At the end of this year, deep in December, the middle of the summer for anybody south of the equator, and especially Antarctica, deep in the Antarctic Circle, where the sun don't set that time of year. Well, there's a boat going. It's that William Shatner. William Shatner. And I noticed on board would also be astronaut Scott Kelly.
And there was also a marathon going on at the same time. And they're going to have all these people say, yeah, I saw the 24-hour sun.
It's not a big ship. It maybe holds a couple hundred people. It's not one of those behemoth ships that hold thousands. It's an intimate ship.
Well, I got a problem with that footage of that 24-hour sun. There's smoking guns all over the place. So the first issue with their footage is it's too hot. So it's never been above freezing in Antarctica.
Welcome to the coldest place on Earth, Antarctica. The average temperature, a bone-chilling minus 58 degrees Fahrenheit during winter. Summers don't offer much respite either, with temperatures barely creeping above minus 2 degrees.
And the reason that's such a big deal is because there is 24-hour suns in the north, but it gets 60, 70 degrees in the Arctic during their summer. And in Antarctica, it doesn't. And they go, well, we were deeper. Yeah, it was negative 14 at Ross Station and Scott Station the days they were out at Union Glacier. How warm was it? It looked pretty warm, man. They're out there at midnight like this, like unzipping in their jackets. They didn't have hats on for hours. The negative 2 degrees is the warmest it's ever been recorded Celsius. It's never been above 32 degrees Fahrenheit, ever. And there's no sun out there. That's why I don't believe there's a 24-hour sun. It's just never been recorded in human history. You talk to travel agents, they go, no, the 24-hour sun is in the north. It's not in the south. Over 30 years, we've never booked a trip to go see the 24-hour sun.
Quality Traditions, Thurston speaking. How can I help you?
Yeah, do you guys also do the Antarctica, or is this just Arctic?
So yeah, we do go to Antarctica as well.
Now, do they have, in Antarctica, do they have the midnight sun, under the midnight sun tours on that one as well?
No. When it comes to the midnight sun, you'll only find that in the Arctic. I'm 100% sure about that. There's only partial amounts of times where you will have sun, but not for the full 24 hours.
Ever, right? Ever in Antarctica? It's never like that?
No.
Okay.
Never like that. For all the 30 years that we've been traveling, we haven't had any particular person actually come back and state that that is the case, where they found that for the full 24 hours, there's basically been that particular time frame that the sun has been out.
Okay.
I know that it does, the sun does set a bit later within the evening because of it obviously being on the lost continent. But it's not that the sun will be out completely for the full 24 hours.
Okay.
And now all of a sudden in human history, they're saying there's a 24-hour sun in Antarctica. And you got these people that just don't want to lose an argument to flat earthers, and they're willing to fake it. It's absolutely ridiculous. There's plenty of video of it setting, just not in December. There's really good video of it setting in January. There's a new video of it setting on New Year's. There's this research assistant that's out in Antarctica that makes videos, Jeff Capps. He's got a video that looks like it's set. Now, he's a big 24-hour sun guy, but his sun doesn't match their angle. So the other smoking gun is the sun itself. It looked like they used a solar simulator, guys. That looked like a fake sun. You got Mick Toon walking behind that sun. At times, that sun looked like a football. The angle doesn't support reality. The other fake 24-hour suns that they show have a normal angle of the sun, but then at the last minute, they pop it up at the end of the video, kind of out of nowhere. So they have a black cloud pop in front of it, and then it pops up again. And the rumor is the reason why it's so cold in Antarctica is the angle of the sun. Well, that makes sense. And that makes sense on the geocentric model. So the sun rotates around it. They were shooting a movie out there. They had a professional filmmaker out there with them.
Fourth one was Jonathan Morandi. Now, interesting part here is he's actually a Hollywood filmmaker. He went with us in order to film everything, and he'll be actually making a documentary later this year on our trip.
It looks like they're on a movie set. Now, we also have a picture of the screen, and you can see a right angle on that screen. And the whole thing just looked like a absolute movie set. But the biggest issue for me is the weather. The vape cake gets into that. Whitsett did hit the vape pen to show the vapor coming out of his mouth. It just didn't seem cold enough. The whole thing seemed fugazier than fugazi. And yeah, they're going to do the whole thing. Well, why would an average person fake the shape of the earth? Well, why won't the government just turn on the cameras out in Antarctica? Well, why do we have to go through this charade? It is a bit weird that regular people would fake the shape of the earth, but they're doing it for their 15 minutes of fame. People like making fun of flat earthers. I'm not really sure why. Flat earth is very interesting. It's a very beautiful truth. And it doesn't have to go into the spiritual realms. It does prove the Bible. It does prove that science is nothing more than a religion, and a false religion, and hocus pocus, and just not fundamentally true. I don't know if showing a sunset from Antarctica would prove it for them. There used to be a video on the internet of a researcher showing a 19-hour sun from Antarctica. Now, that got taken off the internet, and people didn't understand how you could have a 19-hour sun on a flat Earth. You know, whether it sets or not in Antarctica, they're not really going to be able to comprehend it. But there are people with that video. I mean, I remember seeing that video. I know who has that video, and there's other ones like that out there. But Google will just erase you from the internet. You'll get shadow banned, and you'll get put in a nice little corner like me if you talk like this. So most people remember that, and it's not going to do anything for that Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone. They'll trust whatever their government says. They see it on TV, and they believe it, and that's just how the game kind of works. But it is fugazier than fugazi. And yeah, I think it's appropriate to take a nice little victory lap here with the JFK documents being released, and letting the naysayers know that we're smarter than you when it comes to analyzing information. You were wrong about JFK, and we were right. You were wrong about the CIA committing crimes. Yeah, they brought in drugs to this country too. It's very possible that NASA fakes the shape of the earth. That's going to be hard for people to handle, but it's all going to become unraveled. God's going to show up one day and debunk all the debunkers. He's going to show up in the sky and open up the heavens, and people still aren't going to believe it. This is not a universe, guys, but it is vindication. And yeah, there is some pride and there is some ego, and this is a personal argument going on with people for years, whether or not you can think for yourself, or whether or not government is actually God. Do I have to trust technology to know things, or can I just follow the meanings of the words, the horizon, the sea level? It's sufficient for me. I exist. I don't live in a universe, and I recognize those names to be my reality. And I don't recognize your artificial reality. Yeah, I like some of the technology and stuff, but I don't want to be enslaved to it by the people that run the money and the people that steal the power of the stars. And there's nothing wrong with questioning them and calling out their crimes. They promote war. They have a war base in the sky, allegedly. I don't think that's real either, because there's no outer space. But they have laser beams somewhere, and they use that money for death. So it's vindication, man. And yeah, now they got to find regular people to do their bidding for them, because government's so untrustworthy. And yeah, they're going to use regular people to fake the shape of the earth once again, and say that the earth is a spinning ball because they saw a 24-hour sun. But they're just a bunch of liars, and they're probably all a bunch of JFK deniers that think Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone.